everyone. Happy Wednesday. If you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay, let me know in the chat. You can make me full screen if you would like. We are going to look at some charts today, so you have that option. That is going to be in your bottom right-hand corner. You can also adjust the volume down there. How's everyone doing today? Throw a hello in the chat. Tell me where you're coming in from. I'm coming to you from Denver, Colorado here today inside my green room. I'm trying to move my chair enough that this lamp here, light fixture, doesn't look like it's on my head. So Licia and Andrew are going to join us in just a few minutes. Do we have anyone here who trades live with Licia, either as an option shopper member or in the small account challenge? If you are a member of either of those, let me know. The small account challenge has been very exciting. Licia started this about 6 months ago, and her goal was to take $5,000, a $5,000 account, and double it, which is not a small feat. Especially if any of you have ever tried to do anything like that, or if you have a trading account of that size, there's a lot of questions, and it can really get difficult mentally if you reach a place where your account is down and you have to kind of fight back through that. So we're going to show you her
print, we print signs.
Oh, over a 6-month period, she was actually able to outperform the S&P 500 by over 6 times. It was like 6.4 times, which is absolutely not a small accomplishment, especially considering one of those months was April, where the S&P corrected down like 12% in a few days. So, hey, Andrew.
How do?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm just watching the market slide a little lower. That's all. But I'm here. I'm joining Licia's challenge because I'm joining Licia's challenge. I guess I say it squared.
Andrew is going to talk a little bit today about his experience so far as a member of the challenge. This is his first time taking a step across the aisle to actually be a member and not just the trader who's alerting the trades, which is really exciting. And you're going to talk about that a little bit. Andrew, I know you had your first trade, and I think you actually made some money on it. So we'll talk
made a couple bucks. Yep. I'm trying how the other half lives.
We appreciate it. Andrew, do you have, if you want to take just a couple minutes here and give kind of your view on the markets today and what's happening for those people who have joined us early, that would be awesome. If you want to share your screen for a second and show us anything you're seeing.
Okay. I can do that. I think we're going to give back the whole rally today. Let me share my screen.
South Texas. Hello, Aggie Mom. Mark in Romeoville, Chicago. I love it. Home of the SIBO. Near and dear.
Aggie Mom. Now we know that. Actually, isn't Licia? Oh, Licia's son is Texas Christian University, I think. So she's not an Aggie. I know there's some sort of serious Texas football stuff going on there. So I don't want to get in the middle of that.
Definitely not. It seems
so. I think this morning we had, like, yesterday was kind of ugly. You know, there's more uncertainty from tariffs. Now Trump can't tariff, or maybe not. It goes to the Supreme Court. They'll probably expedite it. But that put here, let me pull up a chart. That put kind of our run to all-time highs. It kind of slowed it down a little bit. And I think today, because that news for Google, they don't have to separate Chrome.
Yeah.
I think that pushed the Qs up a lot, and then that pushed the SPY up. And, you know, it gave us a little bit of a rally, but we're kind of fading away here. VIX is kind of drifting back up. To be honest, I think we're going to trade poorly until the Fed comes out.
What's the timeline on that for people here who may not be in the know?
Of course there is when it comes to football. I believe it's the 17th. So the Fed has decided that VIX expiration is the day they are going to tell us all the stuff they're going to do.
Why not?
It's literally the most annoying day to do anything. But
If you're gonna do it together. Well, it may be annoying because it's a collision of events, but I'm assuming it's going to create a certain amount of volatility or opportunity. What do you think that might look like?
I mean, it does. It creates some. It does, but it kind of kills a lot of the fun action in VIX because you got to wait until the Fed says what they're going to say, and then you have
Sure.
the vol action is in the next term.
You have to
So
wait for it to settle down.
it's just one of those things where it makes VIX sometimes suboptimal, just because the expiration and the news is on the same day. And the problem is VIX expires on Wednesday morning, but the Fed doesn't talk until Wednesday afternoon. So
Sure.
your
So there's
contracts die prior to
right.
the Fed.
There's some limbo
If they just move everything back another week or up a week, that'd be great. But
well, one of the beauties of trading the small account challenge with Licia is a lot of these option trades that she's using to grow her account so quickly and with such high upside are very short-term trades. Now, I'm not talking in and out in minutes or in and out in a single day. They're usually swing trades, so a couple of days. But I mean, between right now and the time this Fed meeting happens, she could have 3, 4, 5 trades under her belt before we get there. So
true.
That's a great highlight of trading with her and something that I know you like Andrew. Andrew calls himself, if you guys don't know Andrew or don't trade with Andrew, he usually says that he is between a 2-week and 1-month cycle trader. So he's usually looking to put on option trades that are going to play out between 14 days and 30 days, which is definitely, he has several profitable strategies that trade within that window. But Licia focuses on a bit shorter window. So if you're actually going to try to grow an account, really take $5,000 and turn it into $10,000, or take $10,000 and turn it into $20,000. It's going to take you longer if you're trading on a longer cycle. So Licia has sort of shortened that to really expedite the growth of the account and give you guys high upside returns on a shorter time frame. So we're going to talk about that some today too. If you
I like it. We're getting close.
We're getting close. We'll wait just a few more minutes, let a couple more people join before we get started. Today, we're going to go over a few things. So if you joined Licia and Mark last week for the launch of the small account challenge, this second go round, this is going to look a little different today. So if you were there last week, stick around today. We're going to talk about what's happened over the last week. There have been some positions. We're also adding something brand new to small account challenge. And if you're a member of the challenge, you're also going to get this thing. We're going to talk about that here today. And then we're going to show you some of the interaction in the challenge, what it's actually been like over the last week, including what Andrew has been contributing in the chat, which has been, you've been pretty chatty for yourself, Andrew, I would say.
Yeah, well, there's action, like we're just action, and then then we're like, woo, okay, and then we close the trades, and it's easy now. I just listen to what Licia says. I don't have to think too much, but we'll talk about how I'm managing the trades. But ultimately, gotta close your trades. It's a trade.
If anyone in here is a member of the small account challenge, or if you trade with Licia, please say so in the chat. I want to hear from some of the challenge members that are here who maybe have traded with her over this 6-month period we've been talking about. And if you're new to the challenge, also say that. I know we already have Mark here today. A little earlier, he said hello. He's a new member of the challenge. I know several of you have joined just over the last few days, and we did an additional discount over the long Labor Day weekend. So if any of you got in on that, congratulations. This is really exciting timing for you. I love it. I see a bunch of you chiming in the chat that are new members of the challenge. Amazing. Licia will be here in just a few minutes. If I have never met you before, or you have never been to one of these events, my name's Hannah Sellner. I'm the Director of Product Development here at Option Pit. What that means is I am your eyes and ears when it comes to talking with the traders about their strategies. So any questions that you have here today, put them in the chat. I'm always keeping track of your questions, and I'll direct them to Licia at the end. So one of the advantages we have here at Option Pit that I want to make sure you as a member understand. Because at the end of the day, we are here to serve you. We are here for you. Is we have something called CRT, which is a certification process. And it stands for consistently profitable, repeatable, and teachable. CRT, those are the letters. Every strategy that we show you, every strategy that we sell as a subscription service has to pass those parameters. And what that means is it ensures that this is something that can actually help you. Who cares if you show up today and we show you some cool stuff and it doesn't actually equal some money generated for you? That's our goal. And Licia has a very specific goal over the course of the next 6 months. Her goal is to 4 times the performance of the S&P 500, and we're going to show that to you here today. It's part of the reason why Andrew is in that challenge. It's part of the reason why I'm sure some of you here today are members of the challenge. It's a lofty goal. I doubt you have a financial advisor out there who's telling you that they're going to 4 times the S&P 500 over the next 6 months. If you do, speak now, but I'm sure you don't.
I'm going to guess no.
I did not call you guys challenge. I would never say that.
Well, well, G-Man you can call challenge.
Andrew has officially taken his trash talking not only into the small account challenge chat room, but here with all of us today. So enjoy. Anyone here who's totally new that this is your first Option Pit event, let me know. I'd love to welcome brand new members. I might even read your username out if you say hello. Carrie says, my advisor is willing to charge me if he doesn't beat the S&P 500. I love it. Probably true.
True.
Probably true for everyone here. Andrew, I have a question for you before we get, and after you answer this, we'll get started. Do you use a financial advisor at all?
I do kind of partially. I had some just retirement accounts and stuff, but I kind of manage them myself. So we have a little deal on all that.
So you have one, but you kind of do it yourself also.
Mostly, yeah. But I've known him for 30 years. So when I first started trading, like at the time when I first started trading, it was like, because as a young trader, let's just say I wasn't very concerned about my future. So I needed somebody to give money to where I would not spend it.
Yeah. And maybe you don't want to deal with it.
Or I just needed somebody to take it away from me because I was young and not.
Oh, you were self-regulating.
Yes. So I needed some regulatory body to, to manage the money.
How many of you guys
it's 30 something years later. So
how many of you guys here today have a financial advisor? I do. I use someone over at Morgan Stanley that my parents used to use. And he's kind of a friend of my family's. So he does some of I get some deals on some of the fees and things like that. And I don't do it with all of my money for some of the reasons that we're going to outline here today. But for a portion of it that I don't have to look at. I see some of you saying, I do. Vicky says no. Larry says no. For those of you that are saying no, do you do it yourself? Is it something that you do yourself? And sorta. Okay. Well, we'll talk about this a little today. Unfortunately, a lot of people, everyone is in a position where they have to prepare for their retirement. Nobody wants to work their whole life. So we're all trying to get to a place where you can do the things that you want to do and enjoy your life and have the money to enjoy your life. And there's questions about how much that is. How do you do calculations on that? What should that look like? How can you prepare now? It's going to look different for someone who's 35 years old versus 55 versus 65. It can look a lot different. One of the ways that financial advisors do not service you is in talking to you proactively about how they make money when the market turns around. When we have those red days, when we have big long red years or 6 months where the market is down. You just look at that account and kind of watch that money evaporate. So we're going to talk about that today. That is where Licia started. So she started developing the idea for what became the Small Account Challenge because she wanted to fill in that gap. That's a gap that everyone has and everyone experiences and watches their 401k back in April when the market dropped 12% in 3 days. You go in there and everything's red. It's a bad feeling. So let's get into this. Andrew, I'm glad you're here today. Thanks for joining us. Let's walk through.
You're quite welcome.
I'm excited to talk about your experience here. If you guys don't know, Andrew is a trader here. He runs his own trading services. He has several. And this is the first time that he has voluntarily joined a service that we have available here as a member. He's actually trading Licia's alerts. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Justin, I don't see my screen. If you can pop it up on the screen, please, so I can get started here. Thank you so much. Andrew joins Licia's Small Account Challenge. So she just 6.4x'd the S&P in 6 months, and she's going to do it again. If you are here today, we always have a general disclaimer. Basically, what this says is what we are showing you is what we do with our own money. Andrew is freely trading Licia's Small Account Challenge. This is not against his will. Any decision he's making with his money, you are in the same boat. When you come to the challenge, if you trade this, if you trade any of our alerts, the choices that you make are your own to make. So Andrew, let's cut right to the chase here. We have a lot of services here at OptionPit. You've been here for several years, but you're still so young. Why did you choose to join the Small Account Challenge? What is so important about this that it was worthy of your time to actually trade this?
Well, every trader has their own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to trading. And, looking at Licia, she's done a really great job with this challenge. And I am not a technical trader. So I'm like, okay, I'm not getting any younger. I'm an old guy. If I want to get a little better at looking at charts and stuff like that, because I don't really do it, I'm just going to watch Licia because she's one of the few people I've seen a lot of people over years, like 35 years trading now, who all Licia's products consistently make money. And the only way I'm going to learn is like when you play golf. You play golf and, okay, I'm going to play around a golf with somebody but have no money on it. It's no fun. It's like totally, it's not, to me, it's not interesting at all. You're practicing. But as soon as okay, let's 9 holes for $50, just something, right? You have some action on the game. You pay attention, right?
Yeah.
You pay attention.
Yeah,
so I figured, okay, I'm going to grab some, I'll just, I've got some cash. So I'll do her challenge. I'll use my own personal, how I, allocate money to trades and try to follow the alerts and learn what I can.
And we're gonna talk about that in a little. Andrew will show kind of the size account he's using for this, how he's allocating the trades, how he's executing her stop losses and some of those things that she gives you when she actually does a full trade alert plan. The other thing, Andrew, that's really important is if you think about trading like using a toolkit, a hammer isn't going to be the perfect tool for everything. Nope. So, you might, as a trader, everyone who's here today, if you don't know this already, you'll find this. Over time, you kind of develop a sweet spot. Okay, this is about how I trade. You might be shorter term, you might be longer term, you might look for more income style base hit trades, or you might be looking for home runs. You probably settle into a niche. This is what I do, this is how I trade. But any great trader has to be able to recognize a strategy with a great return and make it a part of what they do. So that's kind of what you did here, Andrew. You said to yourself, I may not be a technical trader. I'm not looking at charts every day or drawing pitchforks. I trade it a little bit differently. But you saw the results that Licia was generating, and you were like, you know what? I've been thinking about this for a while. I've been watching this. And it's time that I actually put some skin in the game and learn this myself.
Basically, yes, Hannah, you said that very well.
And you have been very eager, I will say. Andrew's been very active in the chat. You can see this. He's actually got a friendly competition going on with some of the members who have decided that they're trying to beat him, which is amazing. And hopefully, at least your returns from this can help fuel some bottle of wine purchases for you, Andrew.
Oh, I could get 3 good bottles of wine, but I'm not spending any money on anything till after the challenge is over.
There you go again with that self-regulation. I love it.
Well, it's taken a long time.
We talked earlier, you guys, about a typical retirement plan. So I'm gonna give you some numbers right now, and I want you to look at these and honestly ask yourself if these apply to you. So 56% of Americans say they're behind on saving for their retirement. For whatever reason, 1 in 2 people say they're behind. 43% of Americans are worried about outliving their savings and retirements. So they have, okay, here's my magic number. I want to get to this by the time I retire. But then over the years, as they use that, they get worried about outliving that. Okay, what am I going to do if I run out of money? Now I'm 80 years old. What am I going to do? 32% of working age Americans, 1 in 3, have actually no retirement savings. So when I show you these numbers, I don't want these to scare you into doing nothing, because that's only going to hurt you. So if you fall into one of these categories, be honest with yourself about that, number 1. And number 2, I'm really glad that you're here, because whether you knew it and did this on purpose or not, you found yourself in a great place to actually change your situation if one of these apply to you. So pay attention to what we're going to be doing today. Get a notebook out, take some notes. Licia has generated some very impressive results with the small account challenge, and she is going to do it again. She has a promise she's going to come on and talk to us about. She's going to show you how she's going to do it, and you're going to get the chance to actually join her at what I honestly believe is one of our most affordable subscriptions here at Option Pit. So get excited. We're going to walk through this today with you. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to set the stage a little bit for, I talked earlier about how financial advisors can fall short in helping you develop that nest egg for retirement. So Andrew's going to help me walk through this. Now, what you see on your screen right now is $70,000. This was the average salary for someone in America back in 1980. So this is adjusted for inflation and things like that. Now, this is just for an exercise here. So you can see if I started saving back in 1980, okay, and this was my salary, we basically did a projection for you here on what that investment, how it would have gone up and down over 45 years. So from 1980 to now. And as you can see, and this is probably how you guys thought it would look, we've got some green upside, more green upside than the red downside, but it kind of goes back and forth. Now, Andrew, would you say that this is about normal? What you see over the last 45 years, this is about how it should look.
If we're lucky, yes.
Right. So explain that. What do you mean by if we're lucky?
Well, we have more good years than bad.
Right.
And which means you have to be in if you're a long-term investor. You're also going to experience some drawdowns. You can't be an equity investor without experiencing drawdowns. So, and usually it's how you manage the drawdowns that really determine how you're going to be as an investor. Every time it turns red, if you blow your stocks out, that's not going to be good for you.
And Andrew, how do most financial advisors tell you to handle these drawdowns?
In my experience, they never really do. That's at least what I have found. They kind of give you an allocation and then they sort of let the allocation sort of run. So they're not really, they're not really doing, like, for instance, in 2022, like a lot of people had like 60-40 equity bonds. And, they were holding bond portfolios when they're only returning like 1% a year.
Yeah.
And, at least my folks, like, they had a lot of bonds, and I don't deal with my parents at all with managing money. We tried that and they never listened, and then it became very frustrating. So, but they don't do anything, right? So you
Right.
got they have their allocation, and then that's it. That's what you
Right.
got.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and if you don't know anything or don't do anything, it might be better than nothing. But it's not like they're going to, unless you have a great financial advisor, which there are, right? There are some out there that are very good, like Mike Tusa on the show with
Right.
at
And
Option
and
Insider.
and what you're defining, just to put a point on it, Andrew, what you're defining as very good is they wouldn't just let these drawdowns happen and do nothing and just tell you like, well, you got to keep your money in, this happens, things like that. They would actually try to capitalize on some of this downside to at least get back to break even, if not higher.
Exactly. Like if you have some cash, they're like, you need to be putting it to work right now.
Correct. Correct.
So
So
they're actually giving you a little kick when you're freaking out, right?
right.
That's
Exactly.
what I would say. That is an excellent financial advisor. And
Right.
for most people that aren't in the market all day long, all they
Right.
do is like they look at their statement and they freak out.
Right.
So
And I mean, would you say that the percentage of financial advisors that are doing that, actively trading the downside, is very small? Yes.
yeah, like less than 5%.
Less than 5%. So
Or yeah, it's
for,
not a
for
big.
those of you here today, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, that is not my financial advisor. I don't get communication from them when the market goes red, or I don't they don't talk to me about what they're doing. I'll be honest with you, Andrew, and I think we showed some of this last week when Mark and Licia were live. Some of the letters that I get from my financial advisor when the market has turned, it's almost comical how bad they are. They're very anonymous. They just tell you not to panic. They tell you the worst thing that you could do is to pull out your money, but they don't actually address at all what they're doing to help you. And so that's where we come in. And that's where the strategy with Licia comes in. We want to help you fill in the gaps because, like Andrew said, what you do during these drawdown years can be the difference between being a statistic on that slide I just showed and not being a statistic on that slide I just showed. So
Right. Yeah, because like you could see, hanging out for a year or two, like especially it's been a good 40 years in the market. Don't get me wrong. It's, but it's the U.S. stocks look a lot like this historic, like it looks like this 40 years.
Yeah, so let's do a little math here. I want to do a little fun math with you guys. So if you would have taken that 70,000 investment and you would have just let it sit year over year over year, we've done some calculations here for what it would actually look like. And all of these red drawdowns, if you add them up and the percentage of your account, okay, so let's say if you look back in 2022, the market was down almost 20% over that year. So we actually did a calculation of if you added up all of these drawdowns over 45 years, how much wealth would have evaporated over that time. And it's over $1.4 million. So if you actually did nothing, if you just parked that 70 grand, which is what most FAs kind of tell you to do, and maybe you had more contributions, whatever, if you just froze it there, this is what you actually would have lost. Now, you would have made a lot also on that upside. You see the green, like you would have made a lot, but this is wealth that could have been preserved if you knew what to do and if you had a strategy. So I want to show you
If
some
you were active in the drawdown, right? And that's another thing.
Right.
Like when you have the drawdown part, like you got to be active in those.
Exactly. So I want to show you guys a really recent example of how you can be active in a drawdown and what that actually did. So how many of you remember back in April, there was a crazy drop in the market. It took basically 3 trading days and we had like over a 12% drop. Do you guys remember this? Throw a 1 in the chat if you remember this. It was kind of a perfect storm of events. Andrew, do you remember when this happened?
I believe so, yes. This was Liberation Day and the week or two surrounding Liberation Day, yes.
Right. Right. And I remember going in and looking at my long-term portfolio, and it's a scary day. Like you look at this fold chart and you kind of see the recovery that was made, and it's like, okay, it was fine. But this was a very stressful period. So I want to show you, obviously, if you would have just left your money, you would have taken a pretty significant haircut in these few days. I want to show you the path that Licia took. But during the same time period that the S&P 500 dropped that over 12%, this is what Licia was doing. And all of these, look at the dates on these trades: March 31st, April 3rd, April 11th, April 22nd. She was actively trading this drop. And you can see the money that she added up over time. So if you actually compare next to each other what traditional investing, okay, our benchmark, the S&P, versus Licia's strategy, let's look at them side by side over this time period, okay? A traditional investment strategy from March 31st to May 5th, you could have generated $480. That's off of that 70 grand base, okay? Now, Licia's strategy, actively trading the drawdown, she would have made nearly double that. So it's over $950 here. And this is what's so important, with only $5,000. That's like 7% of the investment and almost 2 times the returns. Now, Andrew, I know in a lot of your strategies too, you focus on trading those drawdowns. Can you talk a little bit about, for people here today, like why it's so important to do that and what it can do to your mentality as a trader?
Well, I think the easiest thing to think about is, as if you're trading options now, you've been investing in stocks probably for a while. So you've seen things go up and down. But on down days, it's nice to close trades that are winning, because it makes you realize that there are a lot of ways to make money in the market. But closing trades that are winners means you can go take money and go buy stocks when they're in the what we'll call the drawdown period. Like, so you have money, you have basically new money to go try to invest with. And that's, again, the best part about trading in general, is like you make your money right when the market's doing, let's say, crazy things. And it changes your attitude, because you feel like you're proactively doing something. You're just not sitting there and getting like face punched all the time.
Right.
So by having trades you can close and then some dollars to reinvest, it brightens your mood. Again, you're active in those red areas on that table,
right?
Which is what you want to be.
And I want to clarify one thing. I know we are option traders here at OptionBit, and we talk about trading options a lot. We are also still long-term investors. So Andrew has a portfolio of stocks that he buys and holds. So does Mark, so does Hans, so does Licia. We're going to talk about some of the stocks that Licia buys and holds today in just a minute. So that still exists. And we're not talking about getting rid of that. We're not talking about going rogue and trading your entire nest egg. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about finding a way to be active when the market is not working for you and when those long-term investments are not working for you. Because as we saw over a 45-year period, it's going to happen. And it could happen actually pretty often. So it's important that you have the skills during those periods to be able to generate money. Just like we showed you back in April, what Licia was able to do over that 30-day period. So from the beginning of February to the end of July, so this was the last time Licia did this challenge. And by the way, she's starting it again. She's actually 1 week in. We already have a winning trade we're going to show you in just a second. But during that 6-month period, I like to show you guys where we get our numbers from. This is how we got the 6.47x. So the S&P only grew 5.75% over that 6-month period. And Licia's account grew over 37%. So that's how we get that number. Now, Licia's going to come on in just a second. But if you are, how many of you guys already know Licia? You might be seasoned experts here. I know a lot of you said you already trade with her, trade her pitchforks, trade the candlesticks. But Licia actually was a market maker back on the floor of the SIBO. She worked her way up to that position, which is not a small accomplishment. And she traded commodity futures for 5 years, joined OptionBit back in 2017. Licia is, I mean, I don't want to curse, but she's a bad
mama.
She knows what she's doing, and she is able to spot opportunity and capitalize on it. And it's really impressive. So Licia, if you're here, please pop in and join us. I want you to walk us through. We already talked about where this strategy came from, like the birth of it. Let's talk about how you did it.
Hi, everyone. Oh, was that an applause?
It sure was.
I like that. Thanks, Justin.
We should do that more often. That was great. I feel like I'm on the
We
set
have
of
production
Friends or something.
values now. Woo.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, Justin. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. So exciting.
Licia, we talked a lot about kind of where this came from. So there's a need here to actually be able to capitalize on years, on months when the market when there's downturns, and you built a strategy to kind of fill that need. What am I supposed to do during these times, and how can I at least get back to even sort of on my long-term portfolio or even in the green? So I want you to spend a few minutes here telling everyone, we have almost 300 people here, telling everyone kind of how you did this and what your goals were when you built this strategy.
Sure, Hannah, I'm happy to do that. I knew that I wanted to build a strategy that is accessible to everyone and could be implemented during any market condition.
Sure.
So I knew the strategy had to be simple. One of the most important aspects was that anyone can do it. I stuck with the basic directional options, calls and puts, nothing fancy. No spreads, no calendars. You can open a trading account, answer those few questions, and you're good to go. You only need that level 1 option clearance. I knew our strategy had to be possible, meaning doable. So we needed a trade plan. You'll never be in the dark. You will always know, because I will give you the trade plan, when to get in, why we took the trade, when to get out, to take our money, and what to do if the trade fails, because there will be a handful, not many, of those trades that aren't winners, and every strategy has that.
Yeah, and we're going to show actually the full track record in just a little bit, so you guys can see kind of the ratio of winners to losers, what it's costing for these trades. We like to be super transparent. Our goal is that you guys really understand from top to bottom why this is easy, why it is possible, why it is simple. So we're going to show you all that in just a minute.
That's right. We typically trade 2 to 3 trades a week. Our hold time is generally less than a week. And the best part is you do not need any 30 years of experience to understand my strategy. You will learn
right, because the reality is also like unless you guys are here and you happen to have 30 years of options trading experience, I'm guessing the majority of you don't. So we don't just build strategies for people who already know what to do. They're for people who may be new, and that's a big piece of what you try to do here, Licia, with also making it affordable.
That's right. That's right. I knew I wanted my strategy, in order to be accessible to everyone, it had to be affordable. So we began with $5,000 in the account. The stocks we trade are over $10 to $12, but under $80. Those are where the nice, cheap options lie.
Right.
Each and every trade we enter, we never spend more than $300. So we don't ever have a lot of money out there. We'll generally only have 2 to 3 trades on at the most at a time. Always we're using the cheapest option on the board. And generally we're trading 1 lots. If the options are cheaper, under $1, we can expand and trade 2 to 3 lots. Makes it completely affordable for everyone.
Sure. And I bet you have, I know the angle of this challenge is for people with smaller accounts to show them what it takes to actually grow that account. But if you are someone who's watching this, or I bet there are some people actually in the challenge who have a larger account, you could scale up your positions. There's other things like I want to be clear that like you don't have to just have a small account to do this. You can scale it up and apply the same strategies. Andrew's going to talk about this in just a minute. He's scaled this up just a little bit for the account that he's using. So he'll kind of walk through how he's done that. But I want to be very clear that no matter what size account you have, this is something that you can do.
That's right. Everyone can scale it to their comfort level. So April was the perfect example of why my strategy needed to be non-emotional. April was tough for most of us. There was a lot of panic out there, but I stuck to what the charts told me and I was able to come out on top. While most investors were in the red, my account increased 10.63% during the month of April. So to stay disciplined and keep that emotion out of my trading, I had to apply these strict rules. And that is that every trade we enter needs to have a 100% profit potential.
That's huge.
Yeah, otherwise we don't even look at the trade. I need the movement in the stock and the option that the possibility of making 100% profit is there. Then we enter that trade. We implement the stop loss to minimize those losses. We need that discipline and that non-emotional. We already know that level. It takes away any kind of second guessing. And also we can use good till cancel trade orders that will take our maximum profits off the table. Also eliminating any kind of greed, emotion. We have a plan. That's all our trade plan. We rely on that. There's no emotion.
And Andrew loves to say, Andrew, I'm not going to throw you under the bus here, but you like to say that closing is key. That's something you say a lot. Like you have to close what pays. Do you feel like so far in the challenge, like it really is, I think, a big focus of what you're doing here, Licia, and making sure that you take money off of the table is so important. Like, what do you think about that so far in the challenge, Andrew?
Yes. It's like closing the hardest thing. All the stuff Licia does, I do or try to do in my products. So like you gotta take your money. Like they're just option trades. These aren't marriages. They're not forever.
Yes.
Like you're there to make your dough. You have a profit potential. And you know what? Also be happy. Be happy you made 100% on a trade. Me personally, pretty happy when that happened. You know, first week, pretty happy. I'm not going to complain, you know? So and if it goes to 200, like it's cool. It's okay. Like it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
There's another trade. You still did pretty good. So you got to get used to dealing with success with part of Licia's strategy.
Totally. And we're going to show you guys this in a minute. We have some screenshots of the chat and what the community is like in a small account challenge. This is something that actually, I'll just let you talk about this in a second, Licia. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited, but
I am too, Hannah. I love it. So pitchforks, they are my favorite trading tool. They allow me to identify direction a stock is moving, to pick the entry point and the exit points with 80% confidence. It also is a tool to keep that emotion out of our trading.
Licia, can you explain just for a second for people who may be new to pitchforks or never heard of them? When you say like 80% confidence, what does that mean?
That means that when a stock enters one of those little channels, blue or green, when it enters a new channel, and it can be up to the upside or to the downside, Pitchfork is providing you an 80% chance the stock will trade to the opposite end of that channel.
Okay. So can you guys see my mouse right now? Can you see this on the screen moving around? Yes, no?
Yes.
You can? Okay.
Yeah.
So when Licia says a channel, there's really 4 channels here. I'll just give you a 60-second overview because this is really important. If you're in the middle of a trade and you know, or if you're looking at a possible trade, wouldn't you want to know that once this price action crosses this line, it has an 80% chance of going to the next level? Like there's no other tool that can tell you that. So let me just show you this for 60 seconds. In every pitchfork, there's 4 channels. So right now you see this top blue one, then there's a green one here, and then there's a red midline, a second green channel, and then the blue channel on the bottom. Now, Licia can teach you how to draw these. If you're a member of the Small Account Challenge, this is something she shows you how to do. And it's really based off of 3 points. There's one here, here, and here. And she actually gives you these points. So when she gives you a daily watch list and things like that, she tells you exactly what these points are. It's super easy to input them so that your pitchfork will look exactly like hers. what she's saying when she talks about this 80% chance is when a stock, let's take this instance right here. Okay, see this? You got a green candle here, a second green candle that goes right up against the midline, and then you have it cross the midline. Now, what this says, what this 80% chance means, is if I cross this line, this midline, there's an 80% chance that it will go to the next level, which you can see it crosses. It took a few days here, but it crosses the whole channel and actually goes into the next channel. Is that fair, Licia? That's what this 80% chance means?
That's exactly what it means, Hannah. Very
Okay,
good.
Okay, thank you. I'm learning. I bet Andrew could do that too now. After a week in the challenge, he would know that.
It might take a few more.
He needs a couple more reps. But that's the beauty of this. And I mean, everyone here, do you understand that? Give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense to you. There are so few times in trading that you can have better than a coin flip confidence. That's really what these pitchworks can give you. That is not to be understated. That is a huge edge in your trading. When you already have some of these other benefits that you've put together, Licia, like, I'm only taking trades that have 100% potential upside.
Yeah.
I'm only taking trades that are going to be below a certain cost. Like, you have all these other rules that give you advantages. And then on top of that, when you layer this 80% chance, that's really significant.
Yes, the pitchforks are the key, giving us all our answers to our entire trade plan.
Sure.
They can be used on any chart, any stock. They tell us, time to get in here. You're going to write it up to this price or down to this price.
100%.
An exact level that will say it may or may not stop here. This is where your target is. Gives us entry, profit target, and exit price, all right there on the chart with the pitchfork. So lastly, I really wanted it to be a fun trading community. I wanted us to hang out in the chat all day together, talk, compare notes, just really to be fun. And you can see we celebrate our wins. We talk about our trades, where each of us, we compare where we got in and out.
Right.
We also bring up new trade ideas. Licia, take a look at this stock, or has anyone looked at this? It's been a lot of fun, actually.
I'm sure Andrew can second that. We're going to show some of his comments in just a second. So we talked a little bit about the 6 months and what you were able to do, how you built this strategy. What's happening right now, Licia? Why is it important? So for people here today, if they're maybe hearing about this for the first time, like, what is this important? What can they do about this right now?
Well, Hannah, we're just starting the back half of our small account challenge. The goal over the next 6 months, not weeks, next 6 months, is to 4 times the S&P 500. That means we want our account to move 4 times more than what the S&P 500 will do, which will effectively double our account from when we started the challenge.
Okay.
Since we've had so much success so far, we want to give everyone here the opportunity to get in for the second half of our challenge. Join us, make great trades, have a good time, meet some new traders. Since we've talked last, I want to show you, we had our first winning trade.
Let's look at it.
Yeah. Here is my pitchfork, which you will also get, of Unity Software. I saw that the stock has traded all the way to the very top of the pitchfork.
Right.
This shows me that there's a price level up here where there's resistance, and the stock may be ready to reverse the uptrend that it's been trading in for months.
Okay. Yeah.
We watch it. Watch for that red candle there. After the series of green candles right at the very top, that red candle there gives us that confirmation. That stock is ready to roll over. It's not going to take that next leg higher. It is honoring that resistance at the top of the pitchfork. It's showing us a great trade idea or trade setup.
Right.
And it says, Licia, hop into some puts here.
Andrew, I know you don't use pitchforks in your own trading, but do you feel like, I mean, as you've been going through this process, and we're going to show like Licia what she sent for the trade alert, what she sent for the pitchfork, like, do you feel like you're getting more comfortable with recognizing significant levels of a pitchfork and what it might mean about a stock's direction?
Well, I'm learning. It's only been like 4 days, Hannah.
I'm just
Although
excited.
I do let her levels help me set up where I want to sort of put on a cancel and where I want to work my close. So you get a start right away of how you want to set your trade up, and then you let the statistics work after that.
Sure, that makes sense. So you identify here, Licia, that you think U is going to roll over. Let's walk through what this would look like if you're a member, like what somebody actually gets.
This is what the trade alert looks like when it arrives in your inbox and your email.
Yep.
Which you can also get the push notification. It tells you when to buy. When you receive that notification, get in there, enter your order. It tells you what to buy. Go in there on this stock. In this case, it was Unity. I want you to buy 2. I tell you how many.
Yep.
Of the September 5th, 39 puts. Excuse me. And I also tell you what to pay. I don't want you to run in there, buy the offer, sell the bid. I tell you a price range to put your order in. And we're the premises we want to conserve our account, conserve our money. We don't want to, like I said, we don't want to chase it. We don't want to run in and just buy the offer. So I give you a good price range. Try to be patient, buy it at this level. Once the trade alert is sent, I will send you the trade plan.
Okay.
Which will tell you why we're entering the trade, the price target of the stock, where the stock's going, which leads us to our option price target.
Right.
I will tell you, this is where I want to sell these options. We got in here. I want to sell them here. I also give you the stop loss price. You can enter that order on your own as a sitting order, not think about it. That's where a stop loss will be in case the trade fails.
Right.
With the least amount of damage, right?
Yep.
So I send you the trade, along with the trade plan, I will send you my exact pitchfork pivot points.
Okay.
And you can add them to your own charts. That way you can visualize exactly why we made the trade, where the stock's going to go, and how the trade will plan out. Any question you may have regarding the entire trade will be answered in the trade plan.
Right. So guys, this was last Friday. I saw a couple of questions in the chat, like, is this an active trade? This was from last Friday. You can see this timestamps on some of these emails as they went out. We just want to show you what the experience is like. So as a member of the Small Account Challenge, like what this would look like for you. And basically any question that you might have about executing the trade is answered either in the alert or in the trade plan. And after that, if you have any lingering questions or want to talk about it, this is what the live chat looks like after these alerts were sent. So you can see things like, okay, Andrew's getting filled on the trade. You can see other people getting filled on the trade. Now their fills might look a little different, but any question you have, you can take it right to this community. And I think that can't be undersold. When you're first learning to trade, being left to your own devices is not where you want to be. This community is the exact opposite of that, to actually help you get into these trades and kind of validate you as you go along. You have almost a mirror at all times of people that are talking to you, looking at your trades, can answer your questions. So that's huge. And then if we fast forward to yesterday morning, this was the actual close alert that you sent out, Licia.
Yes, it is. So Tuesday morning before the opening, I saw that you was looking down. It was really close to our price target. And I wanted to capture that money on the option that we're long. So I sent out the closing trade. Usually, sometimes we close half, sometimes we close most of it. This trade, the stock was down right near our price target. And I wanted to capture it on the opening, so we're going to take off the whole position, which is what I recommended.
Right.
Close the entire position. And sure enough, from Friday afternoon to Tuesday morning, one day basically trade, we made 84%.
And you can see too on the pitchfork, I mean, at the top there, you had this hypothesis, okay, where it's likely that we're going to roll over here. So you can see at the top kind of where you bought those puts. And then sure enough, look at where that price went, almost to that next level below, that next channel, which is where you actually sold the put. So here's just an overview of the trade. And what I want to emphasize here, and Andrew, you can talk about this, and Licia, you can talk about this, is how quickly and easily you can enter these orders. So they are just directional calls and puts. You can set this up. It takes like less than 1 minute to enter the order, both to buy it and to sell it. So if you have work, if you have other commitments during the day, I mean, Andrew, for example, is actively trading the entire day. He's doing other things and he's still executing these trades. You can see here, like he got his result. So these were from yesterday morning, people in the chat room actually cashing out on the trade. Yeah. And the reason why we show you this is Licia designed this strategy so that anyone can use it. It's one thing to say that. It's another thing to show you guys here today, people actually doing it. So within these comments in here, there's a range of experiences. Some of these people are newer than others, and some of them are more veteran option traders. But both of them are in there getting, you can see their closes are a little different. Welcome to trading. That's how it's going to look. Yeah. But you can see everyone actually getting into and out of the trade. Do any of you guys have questions about that? I want to make sure this is so clear that really anyone can do this. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. But anything you want to add to that, Licia?
I'll just have to say that I'm excited to see who wins the competition between Cool Hand Vic and Andrew.
We definitely have some friendly competition going on within the chat room, which we love.
She's leaning all over me. That's all.
I think it's going to be a blast.
Andrew, let's talk a little bit about how you're trading the challenge. So you're scaling this up a little bit. Let's talk about your allocation and actually executing the alerts. So you're on the other side of the aisle. Tell us kind of how you've been doing this so far.
Yep, I'm going to trade $10,000. So I want 1 to 2% total allocation right in that range. That way, I could run a stop and control the dollar. So you only do one trade at a time. You don't put all $10,000 on one trade. Okay. You put a portion of your account. It's like Licia's trying to teach you how to allocate money to doing this. Right. Don't put all $10,000 on one trade. If you do, you're a dummy. Okay. Now, the second part here is I use an OCO or trailing stop. I'm using Licia's pitchforks to kind of help with those levels. OCO is one order cancels the other. So like one end of the range, I'll put the stop, and then the target is my exit. If you use a trailing stop, basically once you're up money, you put the trailing stop on. So if you start giving up some of your gains, you're out. That's another way to get out. Because I personally, once the trade's on, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time watching it. I want to depend on the levels and let the platform get me out.
Andrew, I'd actually love, we didn't talk about this before, so surprise, you're going to love this. I wonder if tomorrow, so Licia has a live trading session tomorrow with all Small Account Challenge members. I wonder if you can join her just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and actually show people how you're doing this with the trailing stops. I think that might be really interesting, especially for people who want these trades or need the trades to be lower maintenance. You can kind of show them how you're doing this. Would you be down?
Yeah, the first thing everybody has to do is in your own platform, you have to understand how to work your OCO or trailing stop in your own life. There's probably everybody's got a different platform. See what you can do in your own platform. Go to YouTube and check it out. All right. But you got to do it. like if you're going to be putting these trades on, you got to understand your platform.
What
It's like
platform
understanding your
are you
phone.
using here, Andrew? What are you using for this?
Tradier, they're basically Tradier workstation.
Okay. Even if you showed people tomorrow, just like what you're doing inside of Tradier, I know it's going to vary by the brokerage, but I think that would actually be really helpful for people who are trying to be lower maintenance. So we can look at that tomorrow.
And once you let the trade run, and then what I do is I put new OCO in every day. I only let the OCO run for the day. I don't let it run GTC.
Got it.
And then again, executing the alerts in real time. I sign up for notifications. So I'm sitting around, or also I can, Licia, we have a trade. Licia, we have a trade. In about another week, she'll be like, Andrew, just shut up. The trade will come out. And then at the end, I also want to go through her master class to start looking at how she defines pitchforks and sets them up. So it's part of what you get. She does lay out how to set these things up in the master class when you join.
Right.
So, but you got to go to the left side and you got to look at the videos to learn how. That way you can ask her intelligent questions during class.
Right. So in addition to kind of being fed the execution of these opportunities, we just had a question in the chat by Mar. Licia, do you teach how to use pitchforks? The answer is yes. There's actually a whole masterclass in there that covers pitchforks. And when you join the small account challenge, this is something you get.
Yeah.
Pitchforks will be one of our very first lessons. Once Andrew gives
us a bonus. Lesson. We get bonus, Licia bonuses. And then I guess this is after this, I'm quiet, but some picks and some pitchfork levels. Again, setting up, the discipline of getting into a trade, getting out of a trade, having an exit, setting price targets, and sticking to it.
Exactly.
That's part of what you're going to, at least that's what I try to do all the time. Sometimes I get a little greedy, as my students know, but getting in the habit of setting up on the targets Licia's using, it's a good practice. It's like anything. You practice, and you will get better. That's what I'm looking to take out of this. But we get a little bonus. Licia's going to give us some long-term picks.
You were saying earlier too, Andrew. So in this second bonus, Licia has drawn out for people 5 longer-term pitchforks on 5 large cap stocks. A few of them I know, Andrew, you actually own, and you've been using the pitchforks to validate some of your exits on each of those longer term investments, like where you're looking for them to go, correct?
Yes. Yep.
I want to show you guys the full track record from Licia's last challenge. So we're going to take a minute right now, and we're going to go through this. And if you have any questions, I want you to pop them in the chat. The reason why we show you guys this is, and this is directly in a Google sheet, as you'll see, but to kind of show you the proof here, because here's the reality of trading. Sometimes when you start, you might struggle. You might have some days here where you're going to have some losing trades. Like, just welcome to trading. That's how it goes. But with the community and with the design that Licia had for this, you can see how this $5,000 transformed over time, and how you can build winning trades, and how we talked about this a little bit, the March through April. Licia basically went on a winning streak here when the market was going down. And you can see what happened to that $5,000 over time as it grows month to month. This isn't, 30 trades in 30 days. These are pretty selective opportunities. Like Licia said, she's looking for trades that have at bare minimum the ability to go up 100%. At bare minimum, that's what she's looking for, to make sure that possibility is there. You can see here back in July, we got over 7,000 for the first time on this account. This brings us closer to current day. So here's where we were in August. And we're actually right now, with the addition of the trade that we just walked through, this U trade, this is the highest the account has ever been. And your goal, Licia, over the next 6 months is to actually get this $3,000 higher. So that would be a doubling of the account from $5,000 to $10,000. Now, I wanted to point out 2 things here. The entry price of these trades is just a little over $100 a contract. So $131 is what you're averaging over the course of 6 months. So, and then if you scale up, if you have, you're buying 2 contracts or whatever, this is about what the trade cost looks like. That's really important for people who want to practice this strategy and want to be able to generate some of these results and don't want to feel like they have thousands on the line in every position. So that's really important. Now, any questions about the full track record, pop them in the chat. I want Licia to be able to answer this. So I'm going to let you guys put those in there. And I'm going to show you something that we don't normally show people now. And I'm going to let Licia walk through this. This is something you get when you join the small account challenge that's really important. And I know a lot of professional traders do this, but not all of them really talk about this or show you this. And that's keep a trade journal. So, Licia, walk through this a little bit. And I know your members love this. They love that you have this as a part of the challenge because a lot of times when you're trading, being able to review your positions, see exactly why you entered, when you entered, and track key things that are really important to your trades, like this column pay, your IV, that's something that you look at a lot. This is extremely practical and something that everyone should be doing, but not a lot of people talk about this. So, Licia, you want to walk through this for a few minutes and go over why this is so important to your success in the small account challenge?
Yes, it's another part of the discipline, Hannah. It's actually, so every live session we begin with a lesson. And this is actually one of our weekly lessons is setting up your trade journal. It is so important. If you scroll all the way to the right, I have the notes on why we entered, why I like the trade, my price target, and my stop loss has got its own column.
Right.
And my profit target on the option, where I entered. I like to know where the implied vol is when I entered along with the stock price.
Yeah.
So that if we end up in the trade for, 3 days or so, like how much has the stock moved and how much has the option moved?
Right.
Is the implied vol coming down? Are those options decaying really quickly? Is there demand? Are they picking up? Also, it's something you can look back on if you're going through a losing streak. What am I doing wrong? Am I missing something?
Sure.
What are the good idea trade setups that are making us money? If we go enter a stock another time, last time we got into this stock, where was the implied vol? Oh, wow, it's lower now. It's even better. Things like that. And it just helps keep you on track. Another way to keep that emotion out.
The beauty of this too is if you're looking at this and thinking, Licia, I don't want to do more work. I don't want to also keep a trade journal. Like this is hard for me. You don't have to do that. She already does this for you. So this is something that in the small account challenge, we'll give you access to this. You can actually just see the way she does this. You don't have to keep track of all of this on your own. Like we want to give you the tools to get you to results as fast as possible. So we're not going to give you 1,700 hoops to jump through to make your first trade. That's not the goal here. No. We want you to make your first trade as soon as tomorrow. And then we want you on top of that to actually develop the skills over the next 6 months that you can use in any trade. That's a long-term goal. We want you to understand how to draw a pitchfork, understand how to execute that trade, understand how to set a stop loss, look at IV. Like those are skills you'll accumulate. But it's not like you have to do all of these things to get to a position to then make your first trade. Like we want you to make your first trade tomorrow. That's the goal.
Yeah, actually this afternoon, probably.
This afternoon, probably. I love the sound of that. So there is also a brand new bonus, Licia, that you're adding today. This is something super new. If you're a member of the Small Account Challenge, you're going to get this. So Andrew, this is something you're going to get. Don't worry. You're still going to get access to these, but you've added some picks here. Talk to me about this new bonus, Licia, and why you've added this.
Well, Hannah, the original bonus were those large caps. And I mostly chose those because I do have longer term pitchforks there. And I always think everyone's interested in those Apples and NVIDIAs and all that. But then I realized that we're geared towards the small account person, although anyone can trade.
Sure.
I want to take care of those smaller account people, those of us that are only using the 5,000 in the account, and give you some trades that stocks that we can get into today, right? That have these upside targets. I will
Sure.
give you the exact pitchforks, and you can see where the stock is going to move to, and you can pretty much kind of like, even on the timeline, think that, okay, maybe by January, this stock will be at our price target. So they're really low price, easy to get into, longer term trade ideas is what they are.
So you've put together a list. These are 5 low risk, low dollar, but high potential stocks. And for each of these, you have a pitchfork that we'll be giving to members. And that pitchfork has helped you develop the price target. So just so you guys can see here, like these are all stocks under 10. There's a 10, 7, 2, 2.90, and $9 stock. And then you can see their targets here also. You know, we're looking for between 50 and 150% on these plays, and these will be longer term. So this is just a bonus that when you join Small Account Challenge, you're going to actually get this included. So Andrew, I know you're just drooling. This is something that I'm sure Licia will talk about today, talk about tomorrow at the live session. So we posted a link. It's right above our heads. There's a button wiggling up there. If you're not a member of the challenge, we are deadlining this tomorrow. Okay. This is only available through tomorrow. So I want you to click that button and you can listen to me as I go through and talk about some of the things you're going to get inside of the challenge. But this is so affordable. Okay. Click on that. Click on that and scroll to the bottom. You can look at the price. It's extremely affordable. For Andrew, it was $0. It's not going to be that affordable, but it's really affordable. And we kept it this way because we know that if you're signing up for this, it's very likely that you have a small account. So we're not going to try to charge you thousands of dollars to even make your first trade. That's not what we're doing. So here's some stuff you're going to get. I'll go through these kind of quickly because I want to get to a performance guarantee that Licia has included that's really important. So we showed you today some examples of the trade alerts. You can get that via email and also sent to your phone. It's really easy to set that up. We'll show you how. Like Licia said, there's about 2 to 3 trade alerts per week. So you're not inundated with dozens of trades to make. These are extremely pinpointed opportunities, and you're just going to have 2 to 3 of them a week normally. Over the next 6 months, Licia is live once a week with you. So she goes live for an hour. This live session this week is tomorrow. It's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Yep. Now, these are always recorded. I'm going to have Licia talk in a sec about what she plans to do tomorrow. These are always recorded, so if you can't make it, you can watch the session. When I say live, I really mean live. She will be in front of you, just like she is right now, sharing the screen, showing you her pitchforks. Like she said, she likes to start with a lesson. Her next live session is tomorrow. Now, this is really important. The watch list that she gives you is daily. And I cannot stress how important it is to have this preparation going into the day. I want you to think about it like, how many of you make a to-do list or something for yourself during the week or on the weekend? This is kind of your to-do list. It gets you in the mindset for what could be coming that day. What this will look like is you'll get this in your inbox and it'll have some pitchforks on it. Say Licia has 3 setups she's watching today, 3 stocks she's watching today. She'll give you the pitchforks for each of those 3. So you can actually go in, set up the pitchforks on those stocks so that when you get an alert 2 or 3 or 4 hours later, you're already set up on those stocks. That's super, super important to your success. Licia also has this great key catalyst calendar. She can go over this more with you tomorrow, but this basically covers any economic news, anything that could affect your guys' trading. She's already ahead of it. Now, Licia, I want you to talk about this for a second. We don't do this with every offer, but we do have a performance guarantee attached to the Small Account Challenge. So what does this mean for people here today? Let's walk through this.
So it means, and I hope we cleared it with Mark this time, but the goal is to 4 times the S&P 500 in 6 months. We want the account to grow 4 times more than if you had that $5,000 sitting in the S&P 500 only. We will actively trade it and beat it by 4 times in the next 6 months. And if we don't get there, you will receive a $500 credit. to be used toward any option pit service. We have many good services.
If you guys look at this, none as great as this right now, just to be honest. If you guys look at this though, and you say to yourself, like, that sounds crazy. Like, can you actually 4 times the S&P 500? That sounds nuts. Well, over the last 6-month period, Licia actually did even better than that. It was a 6.4x. And that was during, like we said, the month of April where we had some of those drawdowns. So not only is this possible, I would say that this is probable. And the way that you trade and the way that you find these opportunities, it's very likely that you are going to do this. Now, I see some questions in the chat. I want to address that, but are there any questions about the performance guarantee? We added this for you guys to help you feel extra secure in joining this challenge. Like, Licia's willing to put her money where her mouth is here, and she's making a commitment to you. And she's saying, this is what I'm going to be able to do over the next 6 months. And if I don't, I'm going to take the money that you paid me and I'm going to put it right back in your pocket and you could join something else. So that's really important. Now, I have some questions in the chat that I'm going to funnel here to you, Licia, and then I want to talk about some important upcoming days for the challenge. But let's get to this and answering some of these because this is super important to clear up. Jim asked, is the $3.99 charge a monthly charge, or Jim, it's a one-time charge? So if you pay that $3.99, you get access to the 6 months.
Going
It's
back,
a great deal. My deal is the only deal that's better than that.
You're paying $3.99, but you get a $500 credit if we don't make the challenge.
That's correct. We're basically giving you free money if you want to read it that way, Jim. Mar asked, let me find this question. She said, how many days out do you buy these options? Are they very short term usually? Can you talk about that, Licia, on the front side of your trade, how long there is normally to get in?
Yes. And we will learn how to choose the cheapest option on the board. You'll learn how to do that. We generally trade 1 to 2 weeks out.
Dave says, let's go. Let's do this. Pumped to start the challenge. I love it.
Love that, Dave.
Who's going to be joining him today? We will be deadlining this tomorrow. So the order form that you see above, if you click on that, tomorrow after 1 p.m., after this class, so you basically have 24 hours, that link won't work anymore. So you have to get in before tomorrow. Maggie just asked Licia, and I think you were maybe going to talk about this. She said, when can we expect the next trade? It sounds like you might be looking at one now.
Yes. Well, as soon as I leave everyone, I can multitask, but not that much, Anna. Yes, I'm planning on a trade this afternoon.
Can you tease us at all about it?
No, I'm not.
Well,
I have three in mind. We'll probably just trade one.
Okay. And like we showed, you guys will get the alert sent via email. It'll be in the chat. Andrew will probably be trading this also. Andrew, I know you have to run. I think you have some fulfillment, but do you want to leave everyone here with, I mean, it's a big deal that you've decided to actually join a challenge and live trade it. You want to leave everyone here with any thoughts? If they're sitting there and thinking like, I don't know if this is for me, I don't know if I should do it. You have anything to say to those people?
It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to learn a disciplined trading routine that works. So
I'm honored that Andrew did this on his own. None of us coaxed him, right?
True. I'm like, oh, she's doing another one. I go, the last one. I'm like, and then I'm like, wow, she's doing pretty good with this. So this time I'm not missing the boat. Plus, like I said, if you want to learn, I'm not really a chart reader. I just am a vol trader. So I'm trying to add a little bit of something to my repertoire here. So I'm going to learn it from Licia. And I just have to do better than everybody in the class. Will be a little embarrassing.
Andrew's in a competition with himself here also. Ted says 1 weekend. Thank you, Andrew, for sharing. And I know just from watching you interact with people in the chat, it's been extremely valuable. And I think the way that you can help people with some of the tips, your own execution of this is actually going to be great. So thanks for joining. I know you have to go to weekly profit cycles, but Licia and I will take a couple more questions if you guys have them. So feel free to drop them in the chat. Ted says 1 week in, I am very happy with the service and education. Looking forward to learning more. I love it.
Yay.
Don't be shy, guys. If you're sitting there too and you're like, this was a great presentation, but I don't know what I think. Put the question that's holding you back in the chat, because we really try to account for everything here. We want to get you to make the trades as quickly as possible. We want you to feel confident when you join, so we include that performance guarantee. Like, we try to answer any of the questions, any of the objections you might have. Try to make this as easy as possible for you. So if you do have a question, if you do have something holding you back, put it in the chat. You can also call us. We have a great phone team. They can actually get you in. Licia's teasing this trade that's going to come this afternoon. They can make sure you're logged in, that you'll have everything you need in order to get that trade. So you can give us a phone call. The number's on the screen right now, 888-872-3301. Call them and ask. They are awesome.
They are.
Licia, what's been your favorite part about this challenge so far?
I think the live sessions. I really like the live sessions. I love when people begin using the pitchforks and they're just so amazed how well they work. Yeah. And really, a lot of times, and I've said it before, my members get better fills than I do. They're making more money than I do. And then they actually bring up great trade ideas. We may participate all together, or they're trading themselves on the side, implementing the strategy on their own. It's very rewarding for me to see that.
You're probably like a proud mom in there watching them draw the pitchforks and use the pitchforks. And I mean, the other thing, so if you guys are sitting here, these subscription prices, so you can join just the next 6 months for $3.99, or you can pay $9.99 and you'll get this next 3 months, and then also this next 6 months, and then the next challenge. So that's the difference between those two prices. But if you do that, you're getting live sessions with Licia once a week. And the skills you're going to learn are something that you can apply far beyond the next 6 months, even far beyond this challenge and the next.
Right.
If you're here and you're someone who's learned pitchforks, talk to me about that. Can you even look at another stock now without drawing a pitchfork? I doubt it.
I doubt it too. You're
because
right.
You want to know the next price target. You want to know exactly what option trade you should build. It's really important. It's the difference between maybe a profitable trade and a not profitable trade. Yes. Monte Carlo asks, how did you perform in the last challenge? Monte Carlo, we just showed this, but over a 6-month period, Licia's account grew over 30%. She actually performed over six times what the S&P 500 generated, and she's kind of completing that challenge. So that's a performance. WA says, how is the performance guarantee calculated if the S&P is flat or down for the remainder of the year? That's a good question, WA. We'll have to figure that out. The goal is for Licia. So when she first started, she had a $5,000 account, and we want to get that to $10,000. So that's really the goal over the next 6 months, is getting to that 10,000 mark. So we'd probably calculate it based off of that. Steve B, Licia, this one's for you. Do trades come out at any time during the day? He's kind of wondering what it might look like if he's planning for his own schedule.
Well, I definitely later in the day than earlier. I never put a trade on in the first hour and a half of the day. You want the market to breathe and show you what it's going to do. And generally, I kind of try to wait to the end of the day, because you can see how, look at today, we've reversed the overall market. I kind of like for it to pan out so I can see what the candle's going to look like by the end of the day. I definitely give you enough time to get in before the close. I definitely make sure of that.
As I said, guys, this offer is only available until tomorrow at 1 p.m. So you have about 24 hours. Give us a phone call. Click this link above our heads. It says click here to take the challenge. If you click on that, it'll take you to the order form. When you get there, you got 2 options. You can join just the next 6 months for $3.99. Again, that will not renew. That's just a one-time payment. Or you can take the rest of this challenge and the next one. That's going to be $9.99. That's a great deal, by the way. At the beginning of this challenge, we were charging $9.99 just for this one. So that really is a huge bargain to get the rest of this challenge and the next one. Both of those prices are only available for the next 24 hours. Okay. So that's just how it goes. The train's leaving the station. Licia's ready to get rumbling. We've kind of left this open for you guys anyway. So you got to bite the bullet. You got to get into this challenge.
I love it. Sheena says it's weird not having a pitchfork on a chart now. It's
I saw
awesome.
it. I love it. It's great. And Sheena, I'm sure it's helped your trading too to have that. You're not guessing where a stock might move to. You actually have a tool to know where it could go, and you need to know that destination in order to place an options trade. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you for being here today. Licia, thank you for joining us. I know you've got to go and get into this trade that you're looking for this afternoon. Anything you want to leave everyone with here today? I know you have a live session tomorrow. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about what you plan to do then. It'd be a great place for people to get started if they join us right now.
Yes, my original plan was to hop right into pitchfork drawing, which we can do. We'll see if Andrew decides to join us on how he puts his OCO orders in.
Sure.
I kind of like to get started with the pitchforks first just to see, but we'll talk and see which. Then we definitely, I use Thinkorswim, but everybody's, as Andrew said, platform is different. How to enter the order, what you're looking at when you're entering the order. We do walk through that in one of the lessons. Maybe that should be more in the forefront.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we go over everything. We have 26 weeks of lessons. You're going to learn all kinds of candlesticks, trend lines, all kinds of great stuff. Implied volatility, risk reward, how to evaluate risk reward. You have a stock price target. How do you know what the option price will be? You're going to learn how to do all that.
Ted is reminding me in the chat one more time. I want to remind you guys that we have that new bonus that we just added to the challenge, which are those 5 low risk, high upside picks. You're going to get those when you join. Licia's going to be talking about those over the next couple of weeks, actually getting into some of those longer term positions on some of those low dollar stocks. So that is a brand new bonus. We added it today. Anyone who is already an account challenge member will get it. And everyone who joins today, you're also going to get that. So make sure that you click above. Make sure that you give us a call. I want you guys to get in before even this afternoon's trade opportunity, but at least by tomorrow, at least by 1 p.m. tomorrow, because that's when this offer is gonna go. So, Licia, thank you so much for being here. I can feel how excited you are about this, and every time we talk about it, man, I get excited too. And I see what Andrew's doing here, and I want to jump into the challenge too. So thank you so much for being here and talking through this. We'll let you go and you can get to your trade, but thank you also everyone who stuck around with us. I hope you click on this. I hope you at least give us a call if you do have some questions that didn't go answered. Make sure that you get into the small account challenge. It's going to be a very exciting next 6 months.
Andrew provides a whole new level of fun. So it's going to be great. It's a blast. I'm very, very excited. And thank you everyone for joining us today. And please join us.
Thank you guys. Click that link, give us a call, get in the small account challenge. See you tomorrow, Licia.
Thanks, Hannah. See you tomorrow.